somewhere else, but this is where we found ourselves. Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Welcome to our first show of 2024. You're here on the local show, guys. Thanks for joining us this week here live in Aspen, Colorado, where we feature inspirational locals each week on GrassRoots Community Network. Thanks especially to our live audience for joining us on YouTube and Facebook. So excited to have a first-time guest. He is our new SWATA, our solid waste diversion analyst for Picken County Solid Waste Center. I want to welcome Cameron Garcia to the show. Welcome,
Thank you
Cameron.
so much. Yeah.
And it's been really fun hanging out before the show and getting to know you. We're meeting for the first time today.
Very first time, yeah.
Super exciting. And welcome to the Valley after running the Mesa County
Mesa
landfill.
County, yeah. I worked there for almost 20 years in various, areas, but it was solid waste director there for a number of years. So, yeah, my business has always been trashy, I guess.
A lot of trash talk going on
A lot of trash
in your
talk
life.
in the last 20 plus years, yes.
So Mesa County being the Grand Valley, including the Grand Valley, Palisade, Grand Junction, Fruita.
Fruita area, yep.
And you still reside in Fruita.
Still reside in Fruita. Lucky enough to be able to work this position remotely. Try to get up at least once, one day a week, just so that I can be present for, staff who has questions or our contractors who might have some construction and demolition questions of how they can recycle certain things. So I try to make myself available, but yeah, I do work remote out of Fruita.
I love Fruita.
Yeah, great place.
Such a great place. And we had talked a little, again, before the show about, the love of that area, the high desert, the mountain biking out there.
Yep.
Fishing, Mac Mesa and
High Line
Lake and
then
the river.
Hour you're up to the Mesa, so you have all the lakes up there with all the recreation possibilities are endless up there.
That road bike ride through the monument. Actually was
the
my
monument.
first road race, actually, when they used to do the Tour of the Moon.
Tour of the Moon.
Pro and amateur races up there.
I remember it in the 80s, yeah.
Exactly, which is that movie American Flyers.
Yes.
Is based on that with Kevin Costner.
Sure is, yeah.
In his young years was Tour of the Moon was one of the events in that movie.
Yeah, that was the monument, yeah.
And so that's cool. So you like that, going back and forth between the Grand Valley and the Roaring Fork Valley?
Love it. Yeah, I could probably count on one hand in 30 plus years that I actually made it up here. And yeah, I'm regretting not coming up more often, in my earlier years. It's, a pretty easy drive up here and just, it's a neat place. You're in Aspen, Colorado, everybody knows Aspen, but just the recreation that we talked earlier about, it blows my mind. It is equivalent to on par with probably just about every other place, around.
Oh my gosh. So what have you been able to take advantage of this winter in terms of like local recreation?
Just a little bit of trail work, a lot at the landfill, just actually walking around that area. Hopefully this spring I'm going to get up here a little bit more. Okay. I already told our solid waste director, Kathy Hall, I'm going to be throwing my bike in the back of my truck and coming up and spending my lunch hour someplace.
Shout out to Kathy Hall.
That's right.
And if you ever want to go for a ride, I love road, mountain, gravel, and fat bike on snow. So you got a guy who's a bike geek.
Great. Well,
if you ever need any guidance.
I've already told you some of my experiences that happened in my earlier years, and I'll need a little bit of guidance.
Yeah, there's nothing like skills.
That's right, learning skills.
We like to say new skills mean new thrills.
Yes.
Without all those pesky spills.
That's right.
And hospital bills.
And knowing how to utilize your bike, there's technique.
Be one with the bike.
That's it.
So you also have like a local, a side gig called Desert Dog.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Desert Dog Music Exchange. I'm a kid of the 80s, grew up spinning vinyl all the way up until the 90s, never really stopped. And all of a sudden there's this whole vinyl explosion with younger generations instead of streaming where they have every music in the library at their palm of their hand, that they can get to it. They're getting really interested in vinyl. So, I source vintage records primarily from the 80s and 90s, and try to get the best quality, different pressings that are out there, and listen to them and share them with others. So I can help source records. And
so if someone's looking for a certain kind of music or certain album, obviously, how do they get a hold of you? How do they
actually through desertdogmusicexchange.com. They can give me a call or send me an email message, and I can help them source that record.
And then you have a section in a small store in Fruita?
Yeah, the Vintage Common, which is, the individual there, her name is Michelle. She has a small kind of a boutique type place where she sells vintage clothes and different types of different types of items, from even paintings to pottery to kind of supporting the local artists that are there in Fruita. So she has just a wide variety of different things, and we have a little corner set aside where we sell vinyl too.
How cool!
Yeah.
So like housewares and antiques and vintage
glassware
items
and vintage items.
Is that on
some
Aspen
clothing.
Avenue in Fruita?
It's just off. You know where the Hot Tomato pizzeria?
Yeah, the pizzeria.
Right next door to it.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Cameron, we got so much to get to, including what's current at Picken County Solid Waste Center.
Sure.
In particular, we're going to get into composting, recycling, how we can divert more things from our landfill, which is one of the highest diversion rates in the United States, I think.
One of them, definitely up there.
Definitely in Colorado.
Very impressive,
yeah. So we got a lot to get to. We take our only break of the show, guys. I do want to thank our winter underwriters for making the series happen mid-November to mid-April, paralleling the ski season. See what I did there? Okay, we got 80 Children, Highlands Ale House, Klug Properties, Paradise Bakery, Picken County Solid Waste Center, Red Brick Center for the Arts, where we're shooting right here at GrassRoots TV. We've got Sundog Athletics, near and dear to my heart, White River Overland, and the Wheeler Opera House. We'll be back in 2 minutes, guys, with Cameron Garcia and how you can get involved in caring for our environment, so don't go away.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Want to live like a local? Help us reduce food waste, a major contributor to climate change.
You can help in 3 simple ways.
Plan menus carefully and only buy what you need.
Collect unused scraps for compost.
Buy ugly fruits and vegetables.
Reduce food waste.
Live like a local.
Red Brick Center for the Arts is Aspen's hub for creative activity, offering youth and adult art classes, gallery exhibitions, artist studios, and nonprofits. You can take a class, meet with artists,
Purchase art and be a part of Aspen's art scene. More at redbrickaspen.com. Locally owned and operated and consistently voted #1 for après-ski, Highlands Ale House is the local ski bar, serving delicious drinks and comfort food, including pizza, burgers, salads, bowls, and more. Located at the base of Aspen Highlands. Brought to you by Paradise Bakery and Gelateria, serving Aspen for 42 years. White River Overland specializes in camper van upfitting, catering to mountain outdoor enthusiasts. WRO's builds are purpose-driven to enhance skiing, cycling, camping, climbing, and river adventures. WRO is nestled in the White River National Forest in Aspen.
Susie's Consignment in Aspen at 600 East Main. Same friendly faces, same great prices, and new items daily. See you at Susie's.
Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Thanks for sticking with us here on the local show, guys. We're live here in Aspen, here at GrassRoots Community Network. I'm joined by Cameron Garcia, who's our SWATA, Solid Waste Diversion Analyst.
That's right.
For Pickett County Solid Waste Center. And let's start with your basic responsibilities, Cameron. You're working remote in Florida. You come up here once or twice a week. And what are your primary responsibilities?
Right now, my main focus is with their construction and demolition debris program,
right.
Supporting the local contractors with diverting the C&D waste, because C&D was an enormous amount of debris and waste going into that landfill.
Yeah.
And with,
it was over half, right?
Over half
of the material.
Yeah,
from
and
construction and
it
demo.
still borders that way.
Wow.
It's highly recyclable material. Most of that material can be diverted away. But my primary responsibility is just to support our contractors through what we call the Green Halo project or program, which tracks their debris management. Because they are required to have a diversion deposit put down. So if you're permitted in Pitkin County, if your project needs a permit for a building or a demolition, well, you're going to be put into the Green Halo program, which I manage. Nice. And our goal is to divert all that material away and get that contractor back, refund that deposit. That's our overall goal. Right. So with that deposit, it just kind of makes everybody a part of that. You know, everybody has a piece in that, and if they can divert up to that 35% of their material, they can get their 100% refund back. And some of these refunds can get up there in price, in amount.
And it's critical because when we're down to a 6 or 7 year lifespan for the landfill.
Yes.
You're talking about, again, half or more of the materials going in there. So that Green Halo program is crucial.
Yes.
To keep diverting things away from the landfill. Boulder, Colorado does a great job with that. And they do something, or I should say we do something similar to Boulder as well, forcing more diversion, but into an area like the Motherlode Mercantile.
Oh.
And is it mercantile or mercantile? We had that debate.
That's a good debate. I'm looking at mercantile.
It's a tomato thing.
Yeah.
Potato.
But what a great program.
Yeah. Awesome.
Again, very unique to have this diversion program where people can bring usable materials. I've seen really good cabinetry and furniture, and they're kind of limited on how much of the bulky items that they can take there because of space.
Right.
But bikes and skis, come on, gee whiz.
I've got a couple new picture frames, 2 frames for $8
Yeah,
last summer.
It's amazing what goes in and then people taking it back out. And again, all that material would eventually it ended up in the landfill. Right. Now has a reuse or repurpose.
I think I saw
great program.
Something like 139 tons was diverted through the mercantile.
Yeah, there were over
unbelievable in the first year, I think.
Yeah, over 5,000 individual transactions through there, which is just mind-boggling. But yeah, a great program, very unique. Again, to have something like that at a solid waste collection center or near a landfill. Yeah, again, a really unique and really effective way to divert those materials out.
So locals need to stop by and see our friend Natalie.
Yes.
Natalie Trecker, who runs the Mercantile.
Sure does, yep.
And it's not just a dump. You know, it's like we were talking off camera. It's like, you know, you grew up, and I grew up in Wisconsin. You go to the dump, and you just leave your stuff and go. That was all it was. It was just a hole or a place to put your stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of quoting George Carlin there a little bit, dating myself. It's like your home is your place to put your stuff.
That's
you know?
right.
But the dump was just, you just put your stuff there and left.
That's right.
But this is so much more, right?
It is. And the term dump is, you know, that's an older term that we, you know, that we used in the past, and it was unconsolidated. It was just a mix mash. Nobody really monitored what went into it, and actually what came out when people would sort and scavenge through it. What we operate here, it's a landfill with all these diversion programs that surround it. It is just a one component of an integrated system.
Right.
And again, it's just one piece. It's not the main focus. Yeah, we have to have a place to get rid of the stuff that we can't divert or recycle. That there needs to be a place for that. But again, it's just a part of this whole integrated management system that includes tires and metal recycling and hazardous waste diversion, electronic waste, composting, organic material is still a huge component of material that's going into landfills, not only just here in Pitkin County, but throughout the country. And that material is one of the easiest ways is to compost it, put it back to its natural basic, you know, material, put it back into the ground and grow the next round of crops.
Right, our scraps program,
the
our
scraps
composting program is award-winning.
Very much so.
And so it's taking that material, instead of just burying it, you know, filling it in, it's repurposing. So whether it's, you know, your food scraps, whether it's your old lamp you don't need anymore, whether it's your old bike, you know, don't need to just throw it away. Bury it. Try to divert it into areas where it can get reused, right?
That's right. Yeah. And that's the overall goal there is to, again, preserve the life expectancy of that landfill. Yeah. Landfills are very expensive to permit, to construct, and to operate. Much easier to divert these materials where people can just show up and say, oh my gosh, look at this bike. Take the bike and off you go. That's the easier way to do it, because when it gets to the landfill, there's a lot of construction, a lot of operations that have to go in to manage that waste, not just today, not till tomorrow, but for hundreds of years potentially.
Right. Well, let's dig in a little bit deeper on, no pun intended, but in food composting.
Yeah.
You know, and some of those things, like what are the common, I guess, items that are confused with what can be, you know, composted and what is not appropriate to compost? You
know, I see a lot of people, a lot of restaurants, just not even here in Pitkin or in Aspen, but even in Down Valley in Mesa County, where they'll purchase all of this compostable plates and forks and cups, and it goes into the trash can.
Right.
Well, you've gone to that.
There.
Yeah, you're there. You're so close. You've already paying for that. Let's take it to the next step.
Right.
And a lot of that next step is actually those items can't be just composted in your backyard composting. Right. It needs to go to a commercial composting facility like Pitkin County has, where it can get to those higher temperatures, where it can be mechanically turned when needed, where it's going to be monitored to make it efficient, where we can get that material in and out very quickly. So those items there need to be going to a commercial composting facility, which the scraps program is a great example of, you know, putting your lettuce and your you know, meats and those type of materials,
your carrot ends,
your carrot ends, apple cores, and that the standard items that, you know, can be composted very easily. Right. You know, so those, again, a program that is really, I'm not saying unique throughout the country, but a very effective program here in Pitkin, where you have drop-off for residents, or you have a commercial pickup, where if you can't make it out there, every so often a commercial hauler can come and take your compostable materials. That's a great program. That's being very efficient.
And so where I live here in town in a big condominium complex, our HOA signed up for that. So we've got that pick up once or twice a week.
Yep.
You know, we got our individual composting
buckets,
containers, which you can get at the landfill for free. I've kind of got the under-the-counter bucket. You can get
Yeah,
the bigger 5-gallon.
Yeah.
But whatever the case may be, you could get a container for a commercial business, right? Like for
Yeah.
a restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I think they're required now.
Yeah, they're moving towards that now.
Right, the
And-
city's kind of lining in with the county.
Yeah,
on that.
you're exactly right. And there's still some movement there. But that's where you're going to see a lot of your food debris, your food waste from the restaurants, grocery stores and such. That's where you're going to see a lot of that volume.
Well, that was a big addition when we could start having those restaurants sign up.
Yeah.
So it's not just the individuals and the private residences, it's commercial businesses, namely restaurants.
Yeah.
I remember when we brought on the St. Regis, that was like a big deal.
Yeah.
And we're, all of a sudden gathering like 60 or 80,000 pounds of composting in the first year. I forget those numbers.
Yeah,
but it's just
very
astronomical.
close. It is. They're
Once you can
big.
get people in the line, in these processes, in these systems, it's powerful.
And there's a lot of education that needs to be involved. It's, you're putting that material in one container.
Right.
Well, maybe now we're just going to put it in a different container than this trash. It's just that education of saying we need to put this over here and this goes here.
Right.
And it's just that evaluation and support and assistance, and that's what I think Pitkin County does really, really well with.
It's just, you're establishing a new habit, right?
Yeah, that's all it
You're
is.
educating on just one more step, really,
Yeah.
which is separating out those items.
Yeah.
And then maybe you have a second step if you need to drop that compost material off.
Yeah.
Which could also be lawn, like yard waste, right?
Grass clippings,
That's organic
leaves,
too.
branches.
Or have it picked up
Yep.
at your place. Let's get into it because we're down to a couple minutes already. The recycling.
Yeah.
Like what should people think about when they're thinking about recycling? Kind of do's and don'ts, I guess.
Yeah, the Pitkin County, their website, the Solid Waste Landfill Rules, has an amazing website that's just really easy to use. So if there's any questions of exactly what type of material, that's a great resource.
Landfillrules.com.
Yep. Or contact, the landfill. We can definitely help with that. But there's so many different things that you would think could be recyclable, but they're not. Right. So that's where that contamination, recycling and contamination, that's really the heartbreak when you have to divert a recyclable, waste to the landfill because of high contamination. So really understanding what can go where. And again, there's plenty of assistance out there, and we can definitely help with that. Some people would think glass pane from a window, not recyclable out that facility, even though you would think glass container, glass window, it's the same. It's different.
Different kind.
Yeah,
different kind of glass.
There's little nuances to it that can make it difficult. But what we're trying to do is get that information out there to make it easier for people.
And when we had Kathy on the show, Kathy Hall on the show in the past, it's kind of like when in doubt, throw it out.
Yeah.
Because if you throw that whatever and you're not sure into that whatever container it is, whether it's at the top of Aspen Mountain or it's at your home or it's in your dumpster shed, but you also have a recycling.
Yeah.
You throw one bad thing in there, like you say, the whole thing gets thrown into the garbage.
Yeah, contamination.
It's tainted.
Yeah, composting especially, recycling especially, where you can have that contamination can really, really mess up with your effectiveness of that program.
Right. In closing, Cameron,
Okay.
last chance before you earn your cookies.
Okay.
We're down to just a couple minutes. What would you like to leave our viewers with? I mean, this is a new year, right? A new
Sure.
opportunity for new beginnings, to kind of care about the environment more. What would be some kind of closing thoughts?
If you're just take that opportunity. You have all of these amazing resources available. Yeah. Use them. Just take the opportunity to maybe become better educated with their use of what can go where. Again, we are in the business of educating and providing people with the information. It's there. Kathy and Pitkin County have developed all these programs. They're right there. Use them. Take that opportunity to learn how to.
Yeah, and it's like we move here, people visit here because of the environment, right? The wildlife. I know you guys have bears too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next time.
Yeah.
But it's like this is our opportunity to show that we really appreciate it, that we really care, that we're grateful for all that we're blessed with our surroundings, our nature, our wildlife. So an opportunity this year to step up. And, we like to encourage picking up litter too. And I know the landfills sponsored our spring and fall cleanups we call trash crush.
Okay.
And so it's like, I like to say, simply bend at the waist and pick up the waste.
Yeah.
It's like one kind of pollution we can easily remove ourselves, right?
Sure.
If we all do a little bit, it can kind of add up to a lot, right?
That's right. It does.
Yeah. So I added up about a baker's dozen cookies here for you, Cameron. So you let me know. Will you be one of my quality control officers?
I will be that for sure.
In the SWATA division?
I will make sure all SWATas get a try.
Did you have fun on the show today?
I had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, no problem.
I appreciate what you do for here on the show, on the local show, and what you do for our community, and what you do for our environment. So give Kathy Hall a big shout out and our friend Natalie Trecker.
We'll do it.
And you can decide if you want to share the cookies or not.
Okay. It might just be going to Fruta with me.
Thank you, Cameron Garcia. And thank you guys above all for watching this week on The Local Show.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Join the string beans in helping reduce food waste in our community.
Plan menus carefully and only buy what you need.
Collect unused scraps for compost.
Ask for smaller portions in restaurants.
Take home leftovers to eat later.
Donate unopened food to our food bank.
Let's work in concert to reduce food waste.
Sundog Athletics, Aspen's adventure sports school and snowshoeing specialists since 1996.
Welcome to